1,800 duelists, and you didn't have to tell me what the results of this event would be. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more honest content. So, I know it's a pretty heavy sigh here, but I get to be the bearer of YCS Indies recap for you all this morning, so buckle up. Did you think that you were not going to see Snake Eyes taking up about 50% of the field? Well, I thought Tenpai would do a little bit better, but yeah, I'm just too hopeful to think that the other rogue decks in the room would even get a chance to match up to this. Now, I still will say, contrary to the argument that I hear from people most of these days, going, Baron died so that Snake Eyes could rise from the ashes to be the best deck in the room. Still had to go. Alright, Baron in this build would have just been even more chaotic, so I understand that people are still upset about that, but I still wanted to plug that in, because the amount of, Big Baron was still around. Yeah, it's just like, no, Baron, because they can also use, it's like Norden, for example, but I just wanted to put that out there. So, 2 Melodious, 2 Runic Stun, a singular Tenpai Dragon in your top 32. Yeah, okay. We also had 1 Kashtira, a Voiceless Voice, a Salamangreat, a Fire King, and a Labrynth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't do a top 10 decks video for this month because this is all the same. Alright? No matter how you have your Rogue Challenger, which is solid. Alright? And then, of course, you have the rest of, the squad kind of trying to challenge the meta here and see what they can do. And unfortunately, the numbers and variance it's not swinging in a really exciting way. Robbie, you're just bad. No. Too much Snake Eyes. Too much. Now, top 8, I'm not going to go too far into this, but 7 Snake Eyes with 1 Labrynth. Alright, now, I don't know if you've done the math on that conversion rate, but Labrynth didn't win the event. I'm just going to be honest with you. Winning the event was actually none other than Snake Eyes McGee themselves. Let's clap, everybody. We got more Snake Eyes profiles to do. Alright, let's pass on over this deck. Okay, so just because we got a little bit of a little bit of Snake Eyes to cover for the top cut here, there is at least some interesting swings in the tech choices to actually say something about this format. I do want to start down here with the Kashtira stuff actually being cited. Most of these packages we have seen be the 5-card splash packages out here, where people look at these and they're like, oh yes, we need to be able to, play these, and understandably so. I mean, honestly, I think this package has been by far one of the bigger carries for things out here. Just giving this deck, that generic good stuff power to kind of clean up what it really needs to see. Also, you're playing 44 cards in here. I think that's the largest number I have seen in terms of the Snake Eyes department. I'm not saying that it's bad, it's just interesting to see the swing of numbers being presented these days. And of course, yeah, we're still playing the Draco set. Still gotta love the free value that this stupid card gets you. I would not be surprised to see something happen to this. Alright, well, don't worry. We have more Snake Eyes for you here. And, it's once again, you don't see that Kashtira package present for this build, which means I really do kind of think that the Kashtira package was something that we were just seeing on the regional. You got to remember, as bad as this format looks on the super high-end competitive spectrum, and I've said this before, while you dial this back down to the locals and into the regional levels, we're having much different stories. So while, we're having Snake Eyes domination out here in terms of these builds dominating, it's different elsewhere. I also want to say, Lullaby of Obedience here, actually getting a very nice showcase in the side deck. We've definitely gone past the era where this card is like, I don't know, actually I still might think this might be main deckable, but honestly just having the rest of your cards built into the deck to handle whichever threats that you have seems worth it. Okay, let me get some more Snake Eyes. Oh boy, yep, here we go. You still see the droplets built into this. The crossouts, playing 41 big cards here now. Story of interest is down here in the side deck. You do have the 1 Change of Heart, 1 Mind Control, 1 Snatch Steal, and the other tag talents. I'm not going to lie to you, attack talents probably should get banned at this point. This card is pretty absurd in terms of the things that it allows these decks to actually do. But honestly, I think the most interesting thing down here is the side deck. And why is Tryhard here? So this was actually kind of cool. When I saw this, I was like, wait, what? All face-up monsters on the field go to defense mode? And of course, remember, this thing's unaffected by the activated effects of defense mode monsters. So we can actually just put this giant 3K monster on the field and have our opponent stare at this and go, what am I supposed to do? No, obviously, they can obviously link climb and then, just blow it up via, an access code dog. Well, actually, you can't do that. Actually, you can. Yeah. Sorry, reading is hard some days. Ooh, more Snake Eyes. Delicious. 41 cards for this one. Do have the crossouts in here. And then this is what we're going to call the most generic side deck in the format. One very interesting thing that I will say about a lot of these builds, though, Skill Drain is a very strong carry on the regional level. Like, holy actual crap, this card does so much stupid work. And I, obviously, when you have the best deck in the room, adapting tech choices like this, I can understand where there's some issues with this card needing to actually be limited in the future. So if you want to, be disappointed in the possibility of Skill Drain going away, well, it's probably going to be because you had something like this monstrosity here actually taking advantage of all of this and actually showcasing why both of these cards are very broken. We actually have a Melodious list. Holy crap. Okay, so in terms of Melodious' success out of this weekend, I think Melodious is a very, very strong deck. Not only obviously because, you have the Herald of Orange Light, your deck kind of has one of the most interesting, I guess, gimmicks that you could really have out here. And it's just, thanks for ashing my Ostinato. Let me activate a secondary copy of this because I'm just better than you. And that's where you start to get the swing of the crazy value kind of generating here is, the swings in these tempo plays. Because you're able to resolve, not being locked behind, once per turns is actually kind of crazy, except for, this one. But, they were very kind to Ostinato out here, not having that locked restriction. Kami, you're crazy for not putting a lock on this. And once again, we still see Tam Tam being cited out here for time. All right, what else we got? Ooh, we have the Salamangreat pile. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I saw this, obviously, we're doing Snake Eyes combo in here, but having this Inari Fire solid stuff built into this opens up a lot more interesting plays than I had kind of considered actually wanting to mess around with out here. Having these engines kind of be present here, obviously, like, this isn't standard salad by any stretch of the imagination, but having the Snake Eye stuff act as stepping stone extenders for your deck, that is a different idea that I hadn't really thought about. So I do think in terms of future competitive play that there might be some value to considering, what we can mess around with, I guess, further in the fire department. I figured maybe we'd see Volcanics at some point, but, it ended up not being Volcanics. It ended up being Salamangreat all along. All right, next up here, we have some Blackwings that made day 2. Now, I am happy to see that there were some of the rogue decks out here actually getting the chance to do something, because holy crap, man. All of these builds that I have had to see from the course of this event have just been meta, and I'm so off-put by it at this point. So to see that Blackwings actually had the chance to do the thing, especially most of your Blackwing builds have definitely been using the Lubellion stuff, because, free level 6s to go down the little synchro ladders to kind of make your life easier or put that pressure on your opponent. Also, Brand Regain is the best generic spell card that we have going for us right now for a deck like this. Once again, absolutely good stuff. Congratulations. It stinks that, you didn't quite make it all the way to the finish line, but you did a very fantastic thing showing the Blackwings can still do something in the course of the meta. And we also had a flu list here. Now, the reason why I chose to include this was evidently they were 8-0 on day 1. And unfortunately, Variants, our dear friend out here, and the Yu-Gi-Oh department was a pretty big swing for this. So unfortunately, they did miss the mark in terms of innovations here. I mean, the double evilly in this build is pretty interesting. I do see we are playing the Dark Will no more. We also have the one of Change of Heart in here as well. And we also have some trap tricks to actually be able to spice it up with the Harpy's Featherstorm in here, be able to pull out those Featherstorms, paralyze the opponent. It's all the standard good stuff that you're used to seeing in the Flunderies deck to kind of try to even out your matchup and at least get you into a decent place to win the game. But everything else, YCS, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.